Hello everyone, Cindy here with Monarch Mom DIY. Today I am here with 5 brand new high-end, low-budget Christmas decor DIYs for you. I hope you enjoy them. With all that being said, let's get crafting. Our first project for today is this Peace on Earth beaded decor. I'm going to use a wood tray, some of these little round ornaments from Walmart, and some sticker letters and some beads. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape off the edge around the bottom of the tray so that I can paint just the bottom of the tray. I'm just using masking tape and going all the way around as close to that corner as I can get. Then I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. Of course, you could do this project with whatever colors you'd like, but I'm going to do white, black, and the dark brown stain to keep this project a little neutral this time. So once I get the entire bottom of my tray painted with my black, I'm going to then go ahead and peel up the masking tape while my paint is still wet. Now, once the bottom of my tray is dry, I'm going to put tape around again, this time around that bottom edge so that I can do the sides of my tray with the antique wax. So there it is all taped off. I'm going to use a baby wipe and my antique wax, and I'm going to go around just to lightly stain all around the side edges of this tray on the inside and the outside, around the handles, and so on and so forth. Now, I've had these little mini ornaments in my stash for a couple of years. I'm pretty sure Walmart has them out already this year. There are 6 of them, but I'm just flipping them around to the back, and I'm going to use 5 of them, 1 for each letter of the word peace. So flipping them over to the back, I'm going to use these gold letters, stickers here that I have, just 1 letter per circle to spell out the word peace. Then using some white sticker letters on the inside of the tray on the black background, I'm going to spell on earth. I'm centering those middle letters, and then we'll go out from there. Next, we're going to take some Mod Podge and just do a light layer over these sticker letters to make sure they don't peel off of our little round ornaments. Next, taking a piece of jute twine, I'm going to tie a knot a few times, and then I'm going to give myself a length of the twine and put some tape on the other end. I'm going to bead about 24, I believe, of these wood beads. They're just a medium size, and I'm going to do enough so that I can have 4 outside of each of the letters, and then 4 also in between each letter. So there you can see all my beads, and then once I line it up on the 2 corners, you can see I have probably a few too many. So I'm going to take some of the beads off. I'm counting out where my letter ornaments are going to go. And then I'm going to tie the other knot so that I can fit those across. Before I do that, I'm going to do some Mod Podge on the bottom of my tray, again, so those sticker letters don't peel off. Now while that's drying, I'm going to take my strand of beads here, and after every 4 beads, I'm going to tie one of my round ornaments onto the string. So I'm using the jute hanger that was already on the little ornament, but I'm going to tie it so that the circle part of the ornament is all the way up at the string, hanging down right like this. So we'll count 4 more beads and we'll tie our next letter on until we have all of the letters to spell peace. Once I have all my letters on and I've snipped off the ends of the twine, I'm going to glue 2 beads on the end of the strand into each corner of my box, and then the middle part of my strand of beads will hang down to finish this sign. This is super cute and I hope you guys like it. Again, you can make this in whatever colors and sticker letter font that you'd like. For DIY number 2, I went and got one of the Hobby Lobby nativity sets. They are only $5 right now on sale, and they are great. I'm also going to use one of these stars that's also from Hobby Lobby. Now this comes with 11 pieces, and they are thick enough that they can stand on their own. So once we get this opened up, I'll show you what all's in there. We have the stable, we have Mary, an angel, a camel, we have a shepherd, is who that is with the little staff there. We have, I think this is Joseph, yes, and baby Jesus in the manger. We also have 3 wise men and a sheep. So I'm getting ready for a ladies craft night at my church, and so I wanted to make this as an example. First, I took my little sander and I'm just smoothing out each of the pieces. They were pretty good already, but just smoothed them out a little bit more. Now, of course, you could paint your set whatever colors you wanted. I decided I was going to paint Joseph, Mary, and the angel with white. And I'm doing both sides front and back, and I'm also doing all the sides. So that does take a little bit of time, but I think it looks really good when it's all finished. I decided to make Jesus special by painting him with gold. I don't have this in a Waverly chalk paint. I don't think they make it, but this is just a gold acrylic paint from Michael's. The other thing I did is I took a little bit of fine gold glitter from Walmart and I decided to sprinkle some on baby Jesus. All the rest of my pieces, I'm using Night Sky. I really love this color and I liked using the 3 different colors just to kind of differentiate the different figures of the nativity. But again, I think this would look really cute if you just did everything in antique wax as well. So have fun, paint your nativity set whatever colors you'd like. So here's all my blue pieces, and then once they're all dry, I am going to sand them a little bit. But first of all, while those are drying, let's come to these stars. You get 4 in a package for $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. I wanted to add a little something to my nativity, so I'm going to also paint this star with that same gold acrylic paint. And then I noticed I had way too much paint on here, so used a bigger brush to get off the excess. Once this is dry, we're going to add a couple special touches to this star as well. I wanted to use my Magnolia stencils on the star. I'm using the words, "Oh Holy Night." So once I get those centered on here on my star, I'm going to use dusky blue chalk paste. This matches the blue of my nativity set really well. Just brushing it across the mesh stencil, and then when we peel and reveal, you're going to see it says "Oh Holy Night." I have other stencil options, but I really liked this one for the nativity set. I like to frame out my pieces so they don't look so plain. So now I'm just taking some white chalk paint. We also painted some of our pieces white. And I'm just using a fine brush and just kind of going around and doing like a messy edge around my star. I really love this. I think it gives it such a nice touch. And like I said, it really frames out the star itself. Here, like I said, once my pieces were dry, I wanted to make them look a little more rustic and not just painted a plain solid color. So I'm using my little sander to go around all the edges as best as I can on all of my pieces. Now I decided to hot glue my big star with the stenciled words onto the top of the stable. This of course is optional. I kind of wanted to make it a little bit bigger of a background for the nativity and be able to have that sentiment, "Oh Holy Night," or whatever you choose to use on it. Now I did give all of these a spray of a clear satin spray, and I just love these. I think the ladies at church are going to have a great time making their nativity set unique to them. DIY number 3 is going to be a Christmas napkin cutting board. We've done napkin decoupage here before, but I wanted to remind you that you can find these cute Christmas napkins at Hobby Lobby, small cutting boards pretty much anywhere, and then just add a little bow to the top. These would make a great little gift for someone. You could even make the other side completely non-seasonal, and then your friend could display it all year long. The first thing I'm going to do after giving it a light sand is give the front and side edges of my cutting board one good coat of my Waverly chalk paint in white. Once that paint is dry, I'm using a 400 grit and lightly sanding that as well, just to make sure my cutting board is nice and smooth. Then we're going to give it a generous coat of matte finish Mod Podge and let that dry completely. Once that's completely dry, you can take your napkin of choice. I loved that this one had the red stripes going on all the other squares of the napkin, even where the wreath wasn't, so that you could do a tall piece like this. So I'm using about half the napkin, but I'm going to use the wreath on the bottom and then continue the stripes up the handle of the cutting board. So once you get your napkin placed, after you've taken off the back layers, you just want the front layer of the napkin. I'm going to put some parchment paper over my napkin and then just use a warm iron. This is going to basically iron the napkin onto the Mod Podge because the heat from the iron will reactivate that Mod Podge, and now it will stick to our cutting board. Once that's dry and cool enough to touch, I can trim some of that excess of the napkin off. Then using my little sander again in a downward motion, I'm going to remove the excess napkin. It's going to give me a nice clean edge all the way around my cutting board. Now you could definitely leave your cutting board like that. I wanted to just take a couple different pieces of ribbon and make a small little messy bow to decorate the neck of the cutting board. So I'm going to take 2 lengths of this, I believe it's like 1.5 inch ribbon maybe, and then 2 pieces of this more narrow ribbon from Dollar Tree. And we're going to just crisscross them after we have 2 pieces, and we're going to tie them together in the center with some twine. Before I lay them across though, I do like to take my 2 pieces of same ribbon, fold them in half, and give them a little dovetail on the ends. And we'll do this to both sets of ribbons. Now we'll lay them down in crisscross, left then right, and then we'll do left and right again, trying to get them centered on top of each other. You can make your messy bows as full or not full as you'd like. I just wanted to keep this one simple, so just chose 2 different ribbons. Again, we're going to tie them in the center with a piece of jute twine, scrunching them up to make our messy bow. And then we're just going to put some hot glue right where we want it, press down our little messy bow, and I also decided to add a red button to the center for this one. I love this. This is a project I've done so many different times with so many different ways. I hope you enjoy it and will give it a try yourself. For DIY number 4, I'm going to make a Merry Christmas tobacco basket. The basket, I believe, is from Dollar General. The Merry Christmas wood sign is from Hobby Lobby, some paint, and some florals. Now, I probably, in hindsight, should have just spray painted this basket, but I actually took the time to paint it with a brush with my Waverly white chalk paint. Of course, if you have spray paint, that is going to be a lot faster. But I wanted my basket to be white, so I did take the time to paint it. Next, while that's drying, I'm taking my crimson chalk paint and a small brush, and I'm going to paint this Merry Christmas wood sign from Hobby Lobby with my crimson. I just love how bright and cheery this red is. And this Merry Christmas sign is only $2 right now because Christmas crafts are 50% off. So take your time, paint it, actually whatever color you'd like. I just happen to love this red. Now, probably the hardest part of this project was finding out where I could glue down the Merry Christmas. There were only a couple places where I could actually glue it to the basket, but it held pretty well. So get that Merry Christmas glued down where you want it. And then the last part for this project is I'm just going to take some of these picks. I believe these are from Dollar Tree, and combine it with whatever florals you have and some floral wire to make a little swag for the bottom of the basket. Once I had this swag as full as I wanted, I took another piece of the floral wire, and I'm actually going to wire the swag to one of the places where the basket has some holes. Instead of trying to hot glue it, I just think this is a lot more secure. So use that floral wire from Dollar Tree. It's pretty handy. Then just trim it and you can see how it's going to fold over on the back. I am going to add one more little floral pick from, I think it's from Hobby Lobby, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to add that to the center once I get these bent down so they're not covering up the words. And there you see it, it's got some leaves and some big red berries, and I just stuck that in the center and secured it on the back of the basket. I love this. It's very simple and easy, and I hope you'll give it a try. For DIY number 5, I'm going to make this Christmas sheet music sign using this plaque from Hobby Lobby, a free printable, and this wreath decor from Hobby Lobby as well. So the first thing I'm going to do with my beaded wood plaque here is I'm going to give the entire thing on the front and on the side edges a coat of my Waverly chalk paint in plaster. I'm trying to get the wood plaque to match the color of my printed sheet music. You'll see here in a minute, it's kind of a grungy yellowish brown. So I'm going to start with plaster chalk paint. And then once this is dry, I'm going to use my antique wax and a baby wipe to kind of darken up this plaque. While that's drying, I'm going to trim up my sheet music that I printed. I will put the link for this in the description of this video, along with a list for each project of all the tools and supplies that I used. So be sure to click that down arrow or click the word more by the title, and you'll be able to see those lists as well as links to my Amazon storefront and my Magnolia Design Co. website. So here you can see I'm trimming it so that it fits. I did want to lightly sand this because it was a little dark. Still, again, trying to get the color of the wood plaque to best match the color of the sheet music. So my little sander, you guys know I use it all the time. All right, this time I'm going to apply the Mod Podge to the center of the plaque, but we're not going to let it dry this time. We're going to get it smoothed out, and then we're going to place down the sheet music right on the center. And I am going to use like a burnishing tool. You could also use like a credit card to smooth it out and get out any potential air bubbles. Now these little wreath decors are in the gift packaging for Christmas at Hobby Lobby. It comes with 3 of these little wreaths. They were a little small the way they were tied, so I unhooked them and I'm going to reform them just into a little bit bigger of a wreath to fit our plaque. I am only going to use 2 of the 3 pieces for this project. You can see I'm just making a slightly larger wreath, and I am going to hook those to each other so that they will be a nice full wreath for the front of our project. Next, I'm going to take another ribbon here. I think this is Hobby Lobby ribbon. You can see I'm cutting one piece. I was originally going to hang this from the back of the sign, but then it covered up the words "Joy to the World," so I ended up not using that, but I am going to use this small bow that I'm making out of the same ribbon. We will glue this to the top of our wreath once we put the whole project together. So once our sign is completely dry, you can see I'm flipping the wreath we made over and applying some hot glue on the back. And I'm just going to glue this down kind of in the center of my sheet music. I still want to be able to read the Joy to the World at the top, and then I'm just going to glue my little bow onto the top of my wreath, and that is done. I love this. You could make this again in whatever color you'd like with whatever your favorite Christmas carol is. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please let me know in the comments which of these projects was your favorite. If you want to see some more Christmas DIYs, I know it's only October, but us crafters, we got to start early for the season, especially for craft shows. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Take care.